Hello and welcome back to the Metamystic Show. This reading is for May 2025. We're starting off with the classic, well, it's classic to me, Animal Spirit Oracle. This is one of my favorites. I want to get an overall energy, what we can expect in the month of May, and I want to look at it through the eyes of the animals. So let's see. We're just going to get one card, and then we will get some tarot. That flew out. Cosmic egg. Now, this is not really an animal in the way we think of animals, right? These are like the classic Charmander that turns into a Charmeleon and then a Charizard, and it's holographic, right? In this deck, there are these special like holographic spirit cards. So this is a spirit animal. Well, they all are, right? But this is like a higher dimensional being. The cosmic egg. This to me is like a spiritual awakening energy or a kundalini rising. You could literally be feeling like everything has changed. With the nightingale at the bottom of the deck, this is giving me, after you have a spiritual awakening, and well, I came from the church, so I'm going to say it this way. It's like you tell your testimony, how the Lord saved my life, and I just want to tell everyone about it. It's kind of like that, but it doesn't have to be the Lord saved your life. It can be, though, something like that, especially because, look, this bird is talking about the depths of the ocean with dragon here. This is giving like you were battling, like you're a bird and you were battling under the water with the deep sea creatures. And the way that I look at deep sea creatures is, well, I love how Stan Tarot talks about how they're like aliens, and I understand what she's saying by that. It's kind of like the reverse of the sky. Like if we look up into the deep space, the water is kind of the inverse of that. So I can see why she's saying that they're like alien-like. I look at that, especially the octopus, I look at this as something having to do with like wrapping itself around you to where you can't escape. And I love these actually. I love an octopus, but spiritually. It kind of goes with, if you want to go here, it goes with like the energy of Leviathan. It goes with the energy of like the deep subconscious, deep. This stuff's deep. Something deep is coming out in the month of May. Now see how we also have the cosmic egg. It's wrapped around, the snake is wrapping around this egg. It's protected the new you that's been birthed through the experience you've just come out of. And some of you may be called to speak about it, write about it. See how this bird is standing on this kind of blue, it kind of looks like Mercury, doesn't it? I always see this as a Mercury energy, this nightingale, like wanting to talk about something, write about something, express about something. This could even be that you are confronting this energy. I almost said enemy. Anemone, sea anemone, yeah. In the month of May. The way that I see octopus is it's a card of like, now if you're the octopus, this is a different thing, but if the octopus is on the outside of you and it's wrapping its tentacles around you and it's trying to like pull you into the water and you can't escape it, especially if you're like an airborne creature, these are like two different creatures. It's weird. It's like there's a creature coming out from the water. It's like water versus air. So it could be like someone literally is a water sign and an air sign here, or that's just the elements at play. It doesn't have to be like this is a Scorpio and this is a Virgo. It doesn't have to be that. But it's giving this energy of like this bird is flying up in the sky and this thing's coming out and pulling it down into the underworld. Some of you could be going through an initiation in the month of May, and I'm not trying to scare you, but if you start to feel like you're suddenly pulled into the underworld, this is why. And if that's the case, this would be so that you could, I was going to say create a higher form of consciousness. That's an interesting way to say that. This could be you birthing like a new version of yourself that's never been. Speaking of this metaphor shirt, if you missed my episode, it's called You 4.0, where I talk about becoming a new version of ourselves. And I kept seeing this imagery again and again and again of a phoenix rising, phoenix rising, phoenix rising. And this has been a process. You could have even been under the water for a long time. I'm seeing this image of a bird like trying to sing. Like you could even be a singer maybe, or you're some sort of a speaker. You do something with words here. I mean, we all use words, right? It's actually a lower form of human technology if we are talking aliens today. Our words are actually a very slow form of communication compared to the very high intelligence of energies like this. Dragon and cosmic egg. This is why I'm saying here, this could very well be an initiation. And we have the bee card right underneath the dragon with the hummingbird, which to me is another like Mercury energy with the hummingbird and the nightingale. They could be initiating you to raise your vibration. I see bees as very high vibrational. They move real fast. And they're disappearing off of the planet. It's showing, it's kind of like dinosaurs becoming extinct. And I'm not putting this out there because we need bees if we want to literally survive here. So some of you could be maybe like an Aquarius or something here. You could be like an air sign that believes in taking care of the planet, right? You could be a humanitarian type here that I'm talking to today. Bees are so common, yet they're so rare, right? And it's kind of like the eye of this dragon, this huge cosmic dragon looking out from the galaxies of the sky. It's like peering down into just an everyday, just bee, kind of just going from flower to flower, doing its thing, doing its daily tasks, right? And this thing's like, boom! Looking right at you, and you're like, me? And they're like, yeah, I want that one. So for some of you, this is getting real trippy. I'm actually going to get my alien cards. I'm seeing, and then we'll get some tarot. I'm seeing like a UFO, and they're like searching the earth for candidates for this project, is what I'm hearing. And you're one of these people. And this will be raising your vibration. And it's going to feel a little wonky, right? You're going to start to feel like you're going up the altitude of a mountain. Have you ever climbed a mountain or driven up one? I drove up Mount Washington. I've had this for years now. That's why there's like coffee stains. It broke in half. I glued it back together. See that? Mount Washington. 6,288 feet, which is actually not even that tall, but for around here, this is over in New Hampshire. This is a big mountain, and driving up that thing, I'll try to put some pictures here because it demonstrates so perfectly what I felt. I felt like I was literally in a freaking dinosaur movie, dude. When the Land Before Time or something, just like looking out over this. I felt like I was on another planet standing on top of a mountain. And words don't do it justice. That could be how you're feeling. Like you could want to talk about something, or you will in the future.
Yeah.
And it's almost as if you're trying to explain this experience that you had in the underworld. I'm hearing the clip off. So for some of you, you could, which in short, it's the shadow side of the Kabbalistic tree. You know, the tree that we see on the Ten of Pentacles? That is the Kabbalah. It comes from the Kabbalah. It's Jewish mysticism. And so basically, the clip-off is the inverse, if you want to call it that, of that, where the tree of life is the harmony of humanity, it is the balance, it's the prosperity, it's the good stuff, right? It's the good side, but there is no good and bad. It's just the other side of the coin, which could be the clip-off here. And some of you, I'm not going to get deep into that today, but some of you might be called to look into that sort of a thing for my my more like folks in the house. But anyways, it doesn't have to be that. I just felt led to say that. You could want to talk about some sort of crazy, like, underworld experience that you had that, like, turned your life upside down and you're never the same again. Like I said, the Lord changed my life, and I just wanted to stand in front of you all today, this Sunday at church, and just tell you all what the Lord has done for me in my life and for my family. I'm just joking. If you're Southern, I love you guys. It's nothing derogatory. I'm just joking. I grew up with a lot of, like, Southern influences. Anyways. So, let me get that alien deck real quick. Where is she? Oh, here she is. I didn't think I'd be bringing this out today. Okay. I just want to get one card. Because I literally, for some of us, this is what I'm seeing. I am seeing this. An eye. This is like the eye of God. There's a scripture that says, like, the Lord, and it's capital L, capital O, capital R, capital D, which is the tetragrammaton, which in short is like, that's why, you know, the old scribes of the Jewish, really men, it was mostly men that did this work, right? They would hyphenate the word Lord because that's how sacred it was. The tetragrammaton is like, it's like the Trinity of the Lord God. Anyways, so it's like that is what's like searching the earth to look for basically the people that are wanting to be found. Does that make sense? So, now, this cosmic egg is what our theme is for the month of May. This cosmic egg, to me, it has such a deep connotation that it was a card that actually followed me around for a long time. Actually, even looking at it makes me a little bit emotional for whatever reason, because it came out a lot for me when I was going through a very deep spiritual awakening. So I feel like the month of May, in short, it's a spiritual awakening / an initiation. Is there really a difference? Right? If we're talking on the darker side of things about like the clip-off, or if we're talking about alien intelligence searching the planet for some sort of like program, like Dolores Cannon talks about, like the waves of volunteers, or we're talking about the Lord Jesus saved my life, and the eye of the Lord is searching the earth to see if there's anyone like him, sort of a thing. It's all the same thing, in my opinion. It's the oneness, and that could be, I'm hearing universal consciousness. That could be what is happening here. Now, I'm a Virgo. I like to connect my dots. Let me just grab my Metatron's cube. Move my lights. Yeah, there we go. See the complexity of that. Yeah, that's a good view. This is Metatron, Archangel Metatron today. That's the energy for May. Whew. And it's a high vibing, low riding, all consuming fire, as they say in the Christian church, right? Anyways, Metatron really can help to remove us from the snare of the fowler, so to speak. The grasp of something that you don't want to be grasped by, in other words. Metatron works with darker energies, and it works with the complexities. I feel like Metatron is kind of a genderless, but anyways, it's the complexities, it's connecting the dots. This is what I was getting Metatron's cube, because the universal consciousness, this is very complex. What I just said about how you can go from group to group, you could talk about the clip off, you could talk about intelligence out in space somewhere, you can talk about whatever. You can go into a room of atheists and talk about spiritual awakening. If you know how to use the right terminology, people will somehow agree. Because it can be a very cerebral process of becoming something more than we were before, because we recognize something, that we're all one, is really what this is about. But look at how complex this oneness is, right? The oneness. How many different types of people are there? I mean, just start there, not even talking about socioeconomically or our gender or our sexuality, the color of our skin. Like, this will take thousands upon thousands of years to create something that somehow meets in the middle. That's the energy we're working with today. So they just wanted to introduce themselves. And the golden ratio at the bottom of the deck here, again, I'm hearing quantum mechanics. So air element, see? Look. And air, you don't have to be an air sign. It's what I was saying before about it's the air element. You could be a water sign, but it's this air energy with the blue avians. Philosophy, releasing karma, and mysticism. And see how he's wearing blue? It's bird person. You ever seen Rick and Morty with bird person? But it's just a real life bird person, so yeah. Alright, let's get one card. And we'll get some tarot. That definitely set the stage for the energy I've been feeling. And the energy I procured while I was absent. Well, that I was trying to tap into so that I could bring it. Right? One card, please, from the Mystic Martian Oracle for the collective, May of 2025. Thank you. We have the Andromedons on the bottom. And see, look at that. Look at the symbolism. There's Metatron's cube right here. See? It's all coming together. You could feel like you're going through a freaking wormhole. I'm looking over at my beard right now for my Herman costume. And yeah, Herman, he'll be back, guys. On my Herman episode where I first introduced him, where we talked about the caves. It's like that's like a form of spiritual awakening and shadow work, where it's like going down into doing like extreme caving, where you feel like you you feel like stuck or you can't move or like it's scary, kind of like a spiritual claustrophobia. But this wormhole thing, it's like that, but it's not. It's like you're going through this black hole and you're coming out the other side with some sort of like revelation of humanity or your own humanity. But I feel like it's even bigger than just yourself. It's like you're seeing this universal oneness consciousness. They started with me back on this sort of train. I hopped this train back in like, well, it was way before this, if I'm really honest with you. But officially, what caused me to leave my Christian faith that I loved with all my heart and that I would have literally died for, back in 2021, I left my Christian ministry that I built from the ground up because they started talking to me about oneness consciousness. They had been talking to me about it since birth, if I'm really honest, but I was indoctrinated into a religion. I'm looking at Mother Mary right over there on my piano. And it's not that I've thrown away all of that, it's that I've incorporated it, right? I've incorporated it, but it's complex. How do you have one thing here and one thing here? That's why we need someone like Metatron. And then we have reptilians here. That starts to get really complicated as well. Predator, survival, tyrannical, where you could feel like you're being lorded over in some way, which we've talked about a lot on the channel. Ouroboros, infinity, eternal, past life. See, this is where I believe we're going to be located for some time in the womb of the cosmos while we are becoming this higher vibrational being. But it's really just you. It's just a version of you that you are tapping into is really all this is. And in doing that, it's like I'm seeing the third eye opening specifically. It's like you're going to begin to see the connections and be like, wait, we are really all one. Therefore, and then you start to make these conclusions about the world and your life and why these things happen to you. And it's like a revelation. So what is this card? We have Arcturians here. See, the Arcturians. All right, let me read what it says. Feeling safe, wisdom keepers, concern. See how this Arcturian is in kind of like a therapist's office? Again, it brings me back to this air energy. The Arcturians, they are sort of like intellectual, is how I would see the Arcturians. And I'm seeing it like as this. The Arcturians specifically, we have the Andromedons on the bottom of the deck as well, have looked and they've found what they've wanted to find in you. You have some sort of wisdom here that they want to cultivate. And I don't mean that in a creepy way. I just looked at this eye. Look at this eye. It's like that could feel a little bit creepy. Like, oh, they want to like... Because we can get scared with aliens, I feel. I love hypnosis. I've watched a lot about it. Speaking of San. Shout out San today. I love her. But, like hypnosis, and I've watched a lot of... I first learned about this sort of material from Dolores Cannon's work. And people talking about their experiences in a deep state of hypnosis, specifically with ETs, right? Because before this, I did not believe in aliens. I was raised a Christian. And the type of Christian that is not open-minded. I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to leave it there, right? Where it's like there is no life outside of this planet. I grew up with bumper stickers like save the people, not the planet. I never felt right about that. So anyways, see that sort of thinking that I just did, that critical thinking, Arcturians, they're looking for you. Because you have a certain way that you are able to connect dots that other people cannot connect. You're able to hold more than one thing at a time. There is these symbols, the symbology of the way that you are able to connect things. They don't want to cultivate you, like, they don't want to use you. You know, we say this a lot in the church, like, Lord, use me, Lord, use me. Even the aliens don't do that. So people are scared of aliens, but anyways, they don't use anybody. They're extending an invitation, right? You have been chosen. And this is not like you've been chosen, therefore other people haven't. This is like, imagine it this way. You've been chosen for a job. You've been promoted, or you're about to be, or you fit a specific skill. They want certain wisdom out. Wisdom keepers. They want someone to be able to express the things that they want to express on the planet, right? And it's a cosmic energy. It's a oneness, universal consciousness, right? And so that's what I'm seeing here. Now let's get some tarot. Arcturians, man. Nice to see you guys today. Always great to see the Arcturians in the house. See, I'm drawn to the word concern here. They have concern for humanity. They care for us. Like, yeah, look, there's crystals. I love the artwork on these cards, and I forgot how much I do. See the crystals back there? They're very high vibrational. They are intellectual. They would be like a therapist or a doctor or a writer or a speaker or a professor or, you know, a Nostradamus sort of a person is what I'm trying to say. It's like a combination of the intellect. It's like the Akashic Records. Do we think of the Akashic Records as intellectual? Yes, it's a book of information, you know. But it's same with like what I was talking about before, with like the clip-off. This is an ancient Jewish idea. This is not just like something that witches came up with on TikTok in 2020 and we're just like, let's talk about the clip-off. Well, maybe some of them. Anyways, I was watching this professor talk about the clip-off. He has like a 10-part series that I was like studying. See, there's something here about the combination of like the upper world and the lower world, so to speak, right? Like I said, it's different sides of the same coin. It's like the ability to be able to be a high priestess, really, is what I'm trying to say here. She understands the light and the dark. You know, she goes into the underworld with Hades, as well as she comes up in the springtime with her mother Demeter and takes care of the planet, right? So you could be being called right now. You're being called out. You've been chosen. I'm going to say that again. And I'm not talking about it like chosen ones. I'm not talking about that. That's not what I mean. This is like, think about it very just normally. Love and light to all. You know, I love everybody, but the chosen one thing, it triggers me. I'm not even going to bring up the clown nose because I have healed a lot, to be honest with you, over the past like 4 or 5 years. But the whole chosen one thing, the way that I was raised, chosen one means like 1 billion of us are saved by the blood of the Lord, and the other 6-7 billion people are going to burn in hell. So that's what I relate to when I see people talking about like chosen one and stuff. I don't like that terminology. I don't really believe in it. But this is what I do believe in. Being called out into your calling, the position you're meant to be in, which for some of you is specifically these Arcturians are looking for candidates to speak certain information on the planet, and it has to do with how you've escaped the binds of these. See, I'm drawn to the brain. Like, it's looking like a brain scan to me. Like, you know, when you You look at those brain scans and certain parts of the brain are lit up. I know that we have this water here, but this feels very cerebral to me. This feels like I'm a doctor. I'm smelling that alcohol, like, of a doctor's office. Very clean, very sterile, and we're looking at a brain scan right now. But we're talking about an octopus. Do you see what I'm saying? It's almost like you're being called to explain to a group of doctors what the underworld was like for you. And to a group of spiritualists that believe in the process of the clip-off, it's like combining things that don't normally go together. This is a bigger picture thing about this oneness, universal cosmic consciousness that I've believed in my entire life. When I looked up into the stars when I was 2 years old, I believed in this. With or without religion, they couldn't take that from me, bless the Lord. I always believed in this, that we are one. And I had to spend, 15 years studying hell and the concept of hell and what that means, because it just didn't make sense to me. It didn't compute with the oneness. It didn't make sense. Anyways. So, yeah. Get 4 cards here. Yeah, see? They want you to talk about this. Whatever this is for you and how you got out of it. Because for some, this is like, I got out of a toxic relationship, or I kicked drugs and alcohol, or, I overcame some sort of toxic codependency from my early upbringing, or this is very, very spiritual, and it all is. But this could even be, like I was talking about, like studying demonology and like having supernatural, paranormal experiences with like ETs and UFOs and demons, like figures, entities that you couldn't quite pinpoint what you were dealing with, or, shapeshifters, monitoring spirits, these beings, right? But it could be also very 3D world, back to the bees again, where it's like you could be speaking to an AA group and you give a speech that like changes people's lives, man. Like how you overcame drinking or whatever this is. Or like you could be talking about like how I was raised a certain way and how I overcame that and how I healed. It's going back to those neural pathways of the brain. Trauma can be read in the brain. It can be seen in the brain. There's like holes in our brain from things we've been through. I just feel it's like this intrigue. I just feel like they like what we're talking about today. They like this. It's like I'm feeling like, yes, that's what I've been waiting for. Look at this alien here. Look at the hands. It's giving me kind of like, hey, like finally, my people. Speaking of Rick and Morty, have you seen the episode where Rick is like, the alien's like doing stuff to his brain and he tries to make a joke, and the assistant to the guy that's doing stuff on his brain, he makes a joke to the assistant and he laughs and he's like, this guy gets it. So basically, anyways. Yeah, for some of you, you've like completed the clip off. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. So yeah, that's your confirmation. This is your message. You have completed the clip off. Step to the other side of the portal. You have completed the clip off. Yeah. And this is like an official ruling. This is not just some like tarot reader on the internet being like, even completed the clip off. This is a cosmic judge that let me say it this way. It doesn't have to be the clip off. It could be you've completed some sort of karmic debt or karmic past deep ties like I was talking about. This is like this is something that tries to kind of pull you back down into the south node, like the past life sort of a thing. You've completed something here, and it's going to legally be like, this is an official ruling, and this is the message of that. So, wow, May is a big month, huh? Great to see the Empress. Great to see the Empress today. Happy birthday to all my Taurus friends, by the way. Yeah, we've been talking about some heavy stuff on the channel, I know, guys. But that's because we're moving through. Right? We're moving through. It's an enlightenment. It's an initiation. I feel like it's the end of a long initiatory period. And now, whether you realize it or not, that whole thing, that was an initiation. You might have been like, wow, my life is just like terrible and dark. When in reality, it's like, it would be dark for anybody. This is like down where the freaking anglerfish are, dude. Right? This is like in the darkness of the ocean where there's no light, and you kind of forget that there is like another way. See how the head is lit up here and here? It's like I'm seeing something about you overcame this past life karma you went through that initiatory period that has enlightened you to the new stream of consciousness that you will be demonstrating for your family line, essentially. We talk a lot about closing cycles. This is kind of just another angle, right, that I'm talking about today with all this and this, right? Because karma, we talk about karma, there's just different philosophies and I just look at things from different angles, right? What we're seeing here is more of like a graduation, if anything. And all this graduation is that you have been selected, right? It's like you've connected some dots here. You've finished something out. You've completed some sort of training or initiation period here that could have been real spiky with the 5 of Swords and the 10 of Pentacles. Yeah, there could have even been like money involved. It's crazy how people act when somebody rich dies. A family member. It's funny how people get, with the wills and all that, right? You could be getting a message about that, very specific message for someone. You could be getting a message, a good omen, a positive message about some sort of inheritance or money that someone tried to either take away from you or say you didn't deserve, or you're not part of this family, or this or that, whatever. I just keep hearing that song. They must be moving on. A king without a castle. And it kept playing in my head all day yesterday, and I forgot to look it up. And I must be moving on. That's the part that keeps playing. And I must be moving on. Somebody let me know in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. A king without a castle. Yeah, you're moving toward your, like, real family. Because some of you could feel like you came from a karmic family. So we're going to get 4 cards officially for the month of May 2025. Arcturians in the house today. We got the dragons in the house. We got the cosmic egg. What a month. What a month. I'm loving it. 8 of Pentacles. See, this is your work. All your work, it's paying off. That's what this is. And you've mastered something, and you've mastered yourself, but you've mastered some sort of ideology that's catching the eye of the higher ups. That's really this message. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Our outcome magic card. Yeah, see, it's like your work, what you have done, and how you have dominated your I should say integrated or trained your, it's kind of like breaking a horse with this card, with the strength card. This lion is our inner beast. It's our lower instincts. So yes, it's that we have overcome like family trauma, ties, generational curses, and all that stuff. That's one way to put it. Another more galactic way to put it, with less like religious connotations and philosophies that humans have come up with, look into spiral dynamics if you're interested in this sort of a thing, where it's like humanity's evolution over time. It's not a religious thing, spiral dynamics. It's just looking at like the history and the evolution of humanity throughout time. So basically what I'm seeing is it's like, again, it's this like I energy coming through with the Judgment card, and this is purpose-based, that you were able to overcome yourself, integrate the lower world, sort of a thing here. And that could be connected to family and traumas and generational curses and everything like in that vein. But at the end of the day, you're just sitting in the living room by yourself while all these other people are just living their lives, right? So at the end of the day, it is just you and you. So even if it is, oh, it's all these other people's fault. They did this to me. They abused me. Yes. And you're sitting in the living room by yourself with this demon, so to speak, that you need to now overcome. It's the victim rises. See, it's the phoenix rising. There it is. That's that phoenix energy. I knew I was feeling that coming through for May. See, it's like the victim becomes the victor. Yes, you were victimized, and I'm never going to downplay that a day in my life, because I have gone through a lot of things. And you're strong for that. That's why it's the strength card. That you've done the impossible. You've tamed the beast within. You've tamed your ego. This is a Leo energy. I got a lot of Leo in my chart. You've tamed your pride. You've tamed your ego. And you've integrated it. That's what this Three of Pentacles is talking about. You've integrated aspects of yourself, possibly even in your birth chart. You could have certain like aspects, even when I just said that maybe are more challenging. Like maybe you have certain things in your birth chart that would cause you, basically, let me just say it quickly, to have a hard time in your life, right? And you have like mastered something and you learn to use it to your advantage somehow. All of this has been recognized. And now it's like moving forward. This has not all been for naught, is the point of this reading, right? Everything you've been through. So, let's see here. Just move these cards around a little bit, because really our main energies are this cosmic egg and the Arcturians, if you just want to take a closer look at these. I mean, those shoes look like a therapist shoe. You know what I mean? So yeah, anyways. I don't know. It could be something psychology based. It's everything. It's everything combined. Card number 1 is the Hanged Man. See? This is really the enlightenment. You've been used to being in the dark, like I was saying before. For some of you, it's the clip off. For some of you, it's just dark themes in your life. For others of you, you're just super highly spiritual. You could have like an 8th house stellium, or you could be a Scorpio, or have some... So I look at this as kind of a Scorpio energy. It's a deep sea animal, right? You know what I'm saying? And it's having to do with like feeling... This is like a bunch of snakes. This is like a Medusa energy kind of thing, where you could have felt like, it's like seeing everything from a different perspective, including yourself. Like, wait, I could have overcome this if I had just, this is giving me octagon, like seeing something from different perspectives, like of an octagon. Again, it's this Metatron's cube energy, where you're starting to see everything differently just because somebody's name could be Lee or something with an L. Yeah, it's like you have this enlightenment. And I just keep hearing the enlightenment, like capital T, capital E, the enlightenment. Like you are the enlightenment. You're going to enlighten people. You're going to be part of this speakers squad, and there's lots of ways to speak, right? We can speak with dance. It's expression. But with this mercurial throat chakra blue energy on this card, it leads me to believe that it is more literal. So, all right. Card number 2, we have the 3 of Swords. This is reminding me of those tattoos that say like mom that motorcycle dudes wear, like those big like hefty ass dudes that you'd never want to cross. But this is giving me like one of those guys, but then you get to know them and they're just like the softest, like sweetest guy. They have like, it's giving me like wrestlers. I forgot which wrestler it is, but he has like a bunch of dogs on his farm, and he seems like he would be this kind of like gruff dude, but in his real life he's like a softie. Like you could feel like you've accumulated this kind of harder outer shell or callus because of the hardships you've gone through. You could feel like you've become hard or calloused or cold or something like that. But this is what they want to tell you. No, that's not. I'm seeing them chipping away. I'm seeing that ice pick where you hit it with the mallet and all the ice falls off around your heart. See, octopus with this Neptunian energy, this feels to me, I know I said Scorpio, but somehow it also kind of feels like Neptunian to me. It's like this Neptunian energy that kept you feeling really confused, even about your perception of your own self. And I'm not saying that we haven't gone through hard things, and maybe some of us have become a little more calloused or calculated or cold or detached or whatever because we're trying to be more discerning so we don't get into these relationships or these cycles again, right? But they want to confirm to you today that it's kind of like if you get frostbite, going back to the mountain example. Say you're climbing a mountain and you have like, you got all this like ice in your beard, your fingers are all like numb and stuff like that when you're climbing the mountain. But then when you come home, it's this cosmic egg energy. We're coming home in the month of May. That's what this is. It's a homecoming. And you could have never been here before here. It's like you are here, but you're like out in the freaking, you're somewhere out in the galaxy. You're like, what do you mean home? I've never been here before. And it's like, no, this is where you're from. This is where you belong, right? Some of you could even have some experiences with like ETs, or you could have a dream, or you could have like an astral experience. You could be somebody who astral travels, and you like go out of your body and you go up into the spaceship and they bring you through and you have some sort of process that's going on there. That could be happening in the month of May. I just heard the month of March. So for some of you, this has already happened. And for some, you might not remember that this has happened. It could have been in a deeper state of consciousness while you were asleep. And I'm not trying to freak you out. I'm just saying this is good. All of this. There's nothing to be scared about. I find that people, we can fear these entities that we feel are like more powerful than us, but that's a good thing. And it's actually where we come from. So that's another conversation. But with the 3 of Swords, that's how I'm seeing this. It's not that you're hard. It's just that we're moving you to a different environment where the ice will melt naturally. Like you've been in a it's like you've been, I almost said you've been in Atlantis. So maybe for some of you have ties to Atlantis. But I was going to say, it's like being in Antarctica and you're freezing and then they move you to like Arizona in the USA or something like that, where it's like this dry heat and I'm just seeing all this water just melting off of you. It looks like the abominable snowman goes to, it's like a movie, like the abominable snowman goes on vacation and he like travels to Hawaii and he has like the the flowers around his neck and he's like all defrosted. I'm seeing that. Like, so for some of you this literally could be like astral travel. I see this as astral travel with Neptune and the Hanged Man. So some of you, you know, you might even be laying on your bed. This could even be a nod to try out some hypnosis meditations if you're interested in having some help to be able to kind of go out of your body if you are interested in that sort of stuff. But this, I'm seeing like the ice melting if you felt like this experience you've been through made you a little bit more, you know, judgy. Like, it's discernment. They want to show you this is actually a very good thing. You've gained discernment, but now that we're moving you out of this environment into another one, and you might not be going anywhere in the 3D world at the very least, they're moving you. You're moving in May. Yeah, that's what this is. You're moving. Your consciousness is moving. It's more like a spiral, like spiral dynamics, like I was talking about with the cosmic egg. It's like you're down here, and then it's like you start moving up the egg, man, with this Hanged Man enlightenment energy that then you will later be able to speak about or teach about or write about or sing about or something in your own way. That's what they want you to know. It's like they've chosen you, and you'll know. This will be undeniable. They've chosen you. They've called you out because it's your calling. You've always known you've been destined to do something like this. You maybe just didn't know exactly where to put your energy or put Eight of Pentacles, what to master, when, who, why, all that stuff, right? So it looks like more information and clarity is coming in the month of May. Card number 3 is the Four of Pentacles. See, that's what I was feeling. It's kind of like you could have felt a little bit afraid of this, like pulling back. Like I'm seeing kind of like trying to figure out if like this is good or bad, this energy. It's good. It's intimidating. You know, there's a reason why, if you want to go religious with it, why people would fall down on the ground when angels will appear, you know, in the Quran and in the Bible and the Torah. Angels, because, you know, Metatron actually is one of those that goes between the religions. Well, they all do. Anyways, that's for another day. But yeah, with this judgment energy, it's like this, people fall down in front of an angel, and the angel usually has to say, "Be not afraid. I come in peace," right? It's like, it's the same sort of thing. I come in peace. Same thing, just different font, basically, is how I see these beings. But there's no reason to be afraid of this or to pull back or protect yourself. You could feel in a raw state. And so you're worried that this will be harmful in some way, but that's why this message is coming through today. It's giving we come in peace sort of a thing here. It's giving that A again. It's like the fawns with the hands. A like they're friends, not foes. And they think that they have an offer for you that you can't refuse, right? And it's your calling. You already know about this. This is not new information. So our outcome card number 4, clarifying the cosmic egg, our magic card, the Knight of Swords. You could want to run away from this. You could be just like running with all your might away from this calling. And, you know, that's classic, right? classic. Ever heard of the story of Jonah and the whale? You know, Jonah tried to run away. God wanted Jonah to be a prophet to the city of Nineveh to express a message to them, right? Whether you believe in the story or not, it's not the point. It's just classic throughout literature, history, religions, philosophies, schools of thought. We have this concept of the prophet is called, basically, to do something or speak something or step up into. It doesn't have to be a prophet. I'm just saying step, but I think it is for a lot of you, so I'm going to say it. Some of you are called to speak in the role of like a prophet or a scribe. And you'll know about this. So yeah. We're called, so basically he, you know, Jonah and the whale, it's like he's called by God to go speak to the city of Nineveh. And so he runs from that. And that's how he gets caught in the whale, basically. And the whale swallows him up. We have the whale right here. The whale swallows him up. And then 3 days later, he comes out of the whale and he's like a changed man, right? He's like, oh, this is my destiny. This is who I am. This is what I'm meant to do. But you could want to run at first from this. From all of it. The whole thing. Right? I'm hearing that song. Band on the run. Wait, how does it go? Band on the run. Search for everyone. Band on the run. Band on the run. So, Knight of Swords. I just want to get a little bit on that. We're going to end on this. Knight of Swords for the collective. There's no need to be afraid of this. This is your calling. Oh my god. All my cards went everywhere. I feel it's like dropping my books like on the first day of school. Like they're going everywhere and... Right? Anyone relate? What up? Okay, yeah. So yeah, the card that came out was the Sun. This is positive. This is good. There's nothing to be scared of here. With the Ace of Cups and the Page of Cups, this is an honest offer. It's a clear offer. There's nothing that's hidden here. This is actually what you've been manifesting, believe it or not, with the Ace of Pentacles. This is an opportunity you've manifested. Maybe you just didn't think that it was going to come from alien life forms, right? But here we sit. And it doesn't have to be that if you don't believe in that and all that. It's okay. We don't have to like agree on all that stuff. It's really this. It's this sort of stuff, right? With the High Priestess. So, and this is connecting you with your true family. It's like you could have lived a life like this. You're going from the Ten of Swords to the Ten of Cups. This looks a lot happier to me. Looks a lot more interesting as well. There's a lot more like color and dynamic energy. This is all like dark, hopeless, sad, painful, right? And it's like you're like the voice in the dark. I wrote this song so many years ago. I think I called it Through the Dark, and it literally does have a rainbow. I'll see if I can find it. It's a super old video. It's got to be from like, I don't know. It's probably from like 12 years ago or something now. I'll put it at the end if I can find it. And I remember I had a CD-ROM on the floor. CD-ROM. I feel like I'm like going back to freaking Stone Ages with this energy present. Yeah, back then with my CD-ROM on the floor. And it was like shining up on the ceiling with this beautiful rainbow. I always remembered that. But yeah, you might want to run from this. And the point of this message is to encourage you to just, you might be standing there like shaking. Because it's kind of like being called up to the council. But they're family, guys. They're not like intimidating. And this is because you have like mastered something. you've completed something like we talked about here, and this is the natural next step of the process, right? I mean, this is the good part. Let's be real. This is the part we've been waiting for, but it can feel intimidating with this eye on you, right? So just this is how I would even if you feel like this inside, you feel like your heart's pounding like 1,000 miles forever 1,000 miles forever per hour. Just just receive and just show your respects and just receive, observe, just you don't have to talk a mile a minute. They don't expect anything from you. They just want you to. This could be happening all through astral travel, just so you know, this whole interaction coming in May, where they just want you to receive it. I would suggest, this looks to me like frantically writing down information, like what's it called? Automatic writing, which I've done that for years and I didn't even know it was called that. Looks like you're coming back from this crazy like astral travel trip you went on, and you're coming back and you're like frantically writing everything down that happened so you don't forget. You could do that. You could also record it into your phone voice memos. Just do not use your brain. Just blah, 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 blah. Just talk. What happened. Or you could like film yourself, which I do a lot. I try to just keep my brain turned off and just blah, 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 just like talk about what I saw or what happened, because I have these experiences all the time in my like personal life, right? And I know a lot of you guys do too, but eventually you may be called to speak about those things or write about those things or whatever. So you're going to want to remember this experience. That's what I'm getting. You're going to want to remember this. And it's happening for everybody that this is applying to. This is a thing that's happening, right? So they're just prepping us. They're prepping us for the trip, basically. Right? So I love you guys. It's been Missy Gordon, the Metamystic here. The devil's like, what do you mean you're leaving me? It's like Judgment Day. I don't know what to say, man. Even the devil's sad to see you go, right? Hey, this is what people don't understand. The devil's actually on our side. So, but they don't want to hear that, do they? But the people that don't understand that the devil's actually on our side don't understand. They haven't gone through the butterfly process. They haven't gone through the cocoon and the metamorphosis, seeing everything from a different perspective, then come out a new creature on the other side. So don't argue with these people. Don't waste your breath. They're shallow. They don't understand, Phoenix, that you have risen from the ashes, and that's why you know what you know. People could try, even also on this closing note, when you start speaking on these things, they could try to beat you down and be like, you don't know what you're talking about. You have no right to speak these things. Who are you? You're a nobody. You don't have any degrees. Or, what makes you so spiritual? I knew you back when you were an alcoholic on the floor with nothing and nobody. And I used to abuse you and laugh in the corner. And now you're this like phoenix rising from the ashes talking about your spiritual experiences. Who do you think you are? And really what it is they're being left behind. And it's a tower for them. But for some of these people, this could actually be their chance to have a spiritual awakening as you are doing what you're doing, saying what you're saying, walking away for some of you. This is all part of the plan, and you could actually be an agent of change to help them succeed in closing their own cycles, but it doesn't mean we have to be up close and personal. They need to deal with their own stuff. This is not for you to take care of. You have your own stuff going on. You have your own... Yeah, I just open up to the starfish again. Like they could see you as a star in some way. It's this eagle energy. It's not about being a star or being famous or any of that. It's about nurturing the collective with the deer because of what you see and what you know. That's why eagles oftentimes they kind of fly alone. You could be somebody who's felt like you've kind of been flying alone. Now could be the time where you're actually coming into union with a larger collective where you will feel more embraced and loved with that 10 of Cups, even if it's just in the astral realm. And you're going to feel more like this is where I belong. This is what I'm meant to be doing. This is how I'm meant to be feeling. Because I'm seeing all different ages and all different, I'm hearing like ages, creeds, like classes. Like this is not about money. It's not about skin color. It's not about sexuality or gender. It's not about age or qualifications of this human planet. It's about who you are, and it's that you have been chosen, right? So I feel like that's this reading. You've been chosen. So I love you guys. It's been Missy Gordon, the Meta Mystic here. Thank you so much for being here. Remember, you can always listen to this show, the Meta Mystic Show, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. EST, as well as on my YouTube channel at the Meta Mystic. If you want to donate to support the show, thank you so much. The info is down below. I deeply appreciate those of you who do donate to help support my work. And for those of you who book readings as well, I love to get to know you guys behind the scenes. It's great doing readings for you. If you're interested in booking a personal with me, information is down below as well. I always post it in the comments, as well as in my descriptions of my videos. If you are interested, you can just email me and say you want to book a reading. So I love you guys so much, and I will see you on the next one.
Hold my hand through the dark, I will lead you to the place. Hold my hand through the dark, I will never let you go. Hear my voice through the dark, I will never let you fall. Hear my voice through the dark, I will surely lead you home. The dirt road my eye has seen, a quiet place filled with trees. I've known this place, but now it grows within my heart, within it shows. More than I will ever know, more than I'll ever sow or grow. This I know, this I know, this I know is real. Hold my hand through the dark, I will lead you to the place. Hold my hand through the dark, I will never let you go. Hold my hand through the dark, I will never let you